Shri Gurubhyo Namaha children. Now we are going to see a lesson from Vista's Journey to the End of the Earth. You might be wondering, what is end of the earth? Is there an end for the earth? There is no end at all. But here in this particular lesson, the author says, Tishani Doshi, in this particular thing about journey to the end of the earth. Now children, before we go into this lesson, we have to talk about something, how the earth was formed. You know pretty well, you have studied in social science how all the planets were formed. The sun's outer part cooled, and because of that there was a big bang, and these small particles which shattered from the sun, it started revolving around the sun, and due to the force that is acting in between the sun and the planets, it started revolving, and as it started revolving, these irregular shaped particles which has come out became smoothened. You know, when you just peel the dough for making chapati, when you peel it, it will be irregular in shape. Then when you just rotate it, it becomes round in shape for you. Similarly, the same thing happened. And earth was very, very hot initially. Then it started cooling down. As it started cooling down, then slowly, right from single cellular creatures, life came into being. And when you just see the whole of the earth, the entire landmass was as one. You call it as Pangea. And the remaining was water bodies. Year after year, it went on. This was the same process, but there was a point when this Pangea also shattered. It divided. It started moving, drifting. It divided into 7 major and minor tectonic plates. It started drifting. But even then, some portion of the land were together. If you just see India, it is triangular in shape as you look at the southern part of India. This India was once down. If you just talk about the southern pole, immediately Antarctica comes to your mind. So this India was part of that Antarctica. Then Antarctica broke and drifted down. Then India started moving towards north. It came again and again, and it just banged against the Gondwana land which was there, and resulting to the buckling up of the Himalayan region. This is how India came and joined. If you cut every continent separately and try to fit in, everything will come and fit in together. For example, if you take Africa, it will come and fit in along with South America. So like that, if you just see, you can take every continent and try to fix it in the land, and then you will get as a whole land. So this is how we have the formation of various continents. And this Antarctica, it was part of India once. It just broke. One portion of the land started drifting towards north, and one portion of the land started drifting towards down south. So if you just see underneath, if you happen to dig underneath, you can see that you have lot of evidence that there was once life, other types of life also in Antarctica before it drifted down south. Okay? You have a process by name carbon dating. So that tells you, that gives you evidence that there was life earlier, long ago, before human beings were formed on this earth. There was life in Antarctica. Then Antarctica migrated down and it went to the frigid zone. You would have studied about the heat zones. Along the equator you have the tropical zone, then the temperate zone, then the frigid zone. So in the Arctic region and the Antarctic region, you have the frigid zone. So in this particular lesson, we are going to study about a journey to the end of the earth, and that end is none other than Antarctica. Now in this particular place, we have to talk about what are all the changes that was brought out by the human beings. Now before man came into being, there were different types of life. But there was a point of time when huge mammals like dinosaur vanished from this particular earth because they were not able to adapt to the climatic changes. Then human beings came. It is just 12,000 years human beings are there, and these human beings have brought lot of changes. Now thirst of acquiring so many things and thirst for development made the humankind to develop so many things technologically, and that has resulted in the depletion of the entire earth. So much of development in vehicles, now these vehicles emit pollution, lots of industries started, it emits pollution. All these things result in the depletion of ozone layer. Now I have to connect it with the present situation. There was a threat, there is a threat, okay. This damage caused to the ozone layer, it is increasing the temperature of the earth, and this increase in temperature is making the ice caps melt. And when these ice caps melt, the level of the sea increases. When the level of the sea increases, some of the islands which are very much closer to the altitude of the sea, it submerges. Like that, so many land has submerged. In fact, even if we take in India, one of the place where the first Sangam had taken place in Tamil literature, it is now under the sea. And some places in Gujarat, Dwaraka, to be known for the place where Krishna lived, it is now submerged under the sea. So like that, the land mass has shrunk because the sea level has increased. Now from where this water melts? It melts from the areas where there is so much of ice, and Antarctica is one. The scientists told that there is a big hole which is created just above Antarctica in the ozone, and that is causing the ice to melt. There was a time when they said that the winter temperature used to go to -40, -50 in Antarctica, but now that is not the condition. Might be in future it may change. Now because of this COVID-19, because no vehicles were running on the road, because of total shutdown, no industrial pollution, no pollution caused due to vehicles, scientists are telling that ozone hole which was created on top of Antarctica has closed completely. Now once again it is going to be like we are reviving back to a purer form of life with the atmosphere which is pure. And they have told that the atmospheric pollution of Chennai has come down, atmospheric pollution of Delhi has come down, all the metropolitan cities atmospheric pollution, it has come down because all the metropolitan cities are overpopulated and too many vehicles on the road. When no vehicles are there, there is no reason for any air pollution. So in this particular lesson, we are going to see about how a teacher takes a group of his students on an expedition to Antarctica. Let's continue with the lesson. Journey to the End of the Earth by Tishani Joshi. Before you read, if you want to know more about the planet's past, present and future, the Antarctica is the place to go. Bon voyage. When you go on a travel, you say bon voyage. Why does the author says when you want to know about the past, present and future? Past, because Antarctica was not there earlier, but it drifted all the way along to that particular place. Present, what is happening in Antarctica? I was telling that due to global warming, depletion of atmosphere, there was snow which was melting from Antarctica, but now and the ozone in the ozone layer there was a hole which was formed in Antarctica, but now it has closed. And now what is going to be the future? If you want to know about all these things, we have to travel to Antarctica. Now virtually, like the virtual class, virtually let us move to Antarctica. Early this year, I found myself aboard a Russian research vessel, the Academic Shokalsky. This is the name of the ship in which these people started the expedition to Antarctica. Heading towards the coldest, driest, windiest continent in the world, Antarctica. My journey began 13 degrees 09 seconds north of the equator in Madras and involved crossing 9 time zones, 6 checkpoints, 3 bodies of water and at least as many ecospheres. The author says crossing 9 time zones, 6 checkpoints, 3 bodies of water, at least as many ecospheres. Why does he say 9 time zones? Because of the vast area which they were covering. For example, when we talk about time zones, I would like to say that in India we have only one time zone. 82.5 degrees is the only time zone to calculate time towards eastern states as well as towards western states. But whereas when you go to USA or Russia, they have several time zones because of the vastness of the continent or land area. So, they were crossing 9 time zones, 6 checkpoints, 3 bodies of water. So, you have Atlantic Ocean, you have Pacific Ocean and you have the Indian Ocean. All these 3 oceans together down south you call it as Southern Ocean. So, they were crossing these bodies of water and as many ecospheres. Ecospheres, it talks about the vegetation and the climatic condition and other things which they crossed till they reached Antarctica. By the time I actually set foot on the Antarctic continent, I had been travelling over 100 hours in combination of a car, an aeroplane and a ship. So, he is talking about the time he took for travelling. So, my first emotion on facing Antarctica's expansive white landscape and uninterrupted blue horizon was relief, followed up with an immediate and profound wonder. Who will not feel wonderful to see the entire area covered with snow? No pollution. You can't see all waste thrown here and there as you see in other places. Even if you go to Himalayas, you can see the junk is being thrown. The only area where too much of junk is not thrown is Antarctica. But even there we have stations, research stations where might be in and around there might be some junk thrown by the scientists who go for research. But as such, if you see Antarctica, he says it was white because of snow which is covered there. Wonder at its immensity, its isolation, but mainly at how there could ever have been a time when India and Antarctica were part of the same landmass. There was a big wonder for this particular author. What was that wonder? This vast land is white and pure, and he was wondering how India, part of India and this Antarctica was a same landmass. How? And to tell, even Australia was part of it. Australia drifted away in one area, Antarctica drifted away in another area, and India moved towards north, and that is how it came and joined along with the main part of land, Asian continent. Now you have the Himalayas in between Asia and India. So India came all along from down south. It came and banged along with the main Asian continent, and that resulted in the buckling up of Himalayas. So for this particular author, that large mass of white land is a great wonder. Now it is part of history. Knowing about this particular land, it has become part of history, because we study in history that how so many people had gone over there. Even India has got its own research station, Maitri. How people go there, they do research over there and find out the climatic condition, and to tell with, like other continents, even Antarctica has got rich sources of minerals. So, but it is not exploited by the people because nobody has settled there. 650 million years ago, a giant amalgamated southern supercontinent, Gondwana, did indeed exist, centered roughly around the present day. Amalgamated, joined. That is what you mean by amalgamated. What I told you already, how the land got fused. Present day Antarctica. Things were quite different then. Humans hadn't arrived on the global scene. On Earth there were no humans. Global scene. Global scene means on in the Earth. There were no humans. Humans hadn't arrived. There were no human being at all. And the climate was much warmer, hosting a huge variety of flora and fauna. Now when the temperature, you can see that here I would like to do a little bit of comparison. Now if you go to African continent, okay, you can see that Africa has got thick forests. When the temperature is going to be high, naturally there will be more rainfall, and that is a boon for the flora and fauna, for the population of flora and fauna. So the whole earth was filled with lots of birds and animals and trees and flowering trees and plants, different types was available there. For 500 million years, Gondwana thrived, but around the time when the dinosaurs were wiped out totally, they went out of the earth. The reason why they were not there on the earth, why they were forced to die, is they were not able to adapt themselves. Now one reason for not adapting themselves or not able to adapt themselves is also the huge size of the animal, but the small size of the head. Huge animal has got a very small brain, and by the time a message goes from its tail to the brain, it will be 3 months, and ultimately by that time the animal would have perished. When the dinosaurs were wiped out and the age of the mammals got underway, the landmass was forced to separate into countries, shaping the globe much as we know it today. So the landmass started developing, that is cutting from getting isolated. It fractioned itself, and that is how we come to know today about the various continents like Asia, Africa, Europe, North America, South America. Then you have Australia, Antarctica, all these landforms came into being. To visit Antarctica, now it is to be a part of that history, to get a grasp of where we have come from and where we could possibly be heading. It is to understand the significance of Cordilleran folds and the Precambrian granite shields, ozone and carbon evolution and extinction. So when we go to Antarctica, we have to see certain things. Now what we see in other continents, it is also there in Antarctica. It's to understand the significance of Cordilleran folds. Cordilleran folds are nothing but and Precambrian granite shields. Cordilleran folds are nothing but the chain of mountains. It is in North America. You can see Cordilleran folds in North America. Then Precambrian granite fields are found in East Greenland. Ozone and carbon evolution and extinction. Ozone, the layer which is there above us. Carbon, the carbon content. Now, anything that gets submerged under the earth, now trees and other things, they have carbon. When they get submerged under the earth, you know, from the trees only coal is formed. When the tree is subjected to high pressure and temperature, this carbon, it turns into coal. Okay, and diamond is also formed from this carbon only. Diamond is nothing but carbon. It is formed from this carbon which is there underneath the earth. When you think about all that can happen in a million years, it can get pretty mind-boggling. Mind-boggling, startling. Or astonishing, overwhelming, anything you can say, mind-boggling, because so many things you learn about Antarctica when you go there, and all these things are all related with the other continents as well. When you think about all that can happen in a million years, it can get pretty mind-boggling. Imagine India pushing northwards, jamming against Asia to buckle its crust and form the Himalayas. South America drifting off to join North America, opening up the Drake Passage to create a cold circumpolar current. Drake Passage. It is a body of water between Cape Horn It's a body of water, stretch of water between Cape Horn. Cape Horn is in the southern tip of South America, and the Shet Islands of Antarctica. So, if you just take the world map and see, you can see that the tip of South America, which is in the southern hemisphere, is very close to the Antarctic continent. To create a cold circumpolar current, keeping Antarctica frigid, desolate and at the bottom of the world. Circumpolar current. Children, you would have read about water current, hot water current, warm current and cold current. These currents are nothing but the flow of water under the ocean. You call it as current. You have warm current, you have cold current. In the places where warm current and cold current meets together, you have a type of seafood, plankton, which grows much. And this plankton are of two types, phytoplankton and zooplankton. Likewise, here in Antarctica, you have the cold circumpolar current, which goes round the Antarctic continent. You just put the globe ulta and see the Antarctic continent, and round this Antarctic continent, you have the circumpolar current. It might be it got its name circumpolar because it goes all the way round the Antarctic continent, and this current keeps the continent frigid, very, very, very cold. Okay, it keeps the continent frigid. Desolate, uninhabited, nobody is there here. Nobody can live permanently in Antarctica. You can see that people go there, scientists go there, they do research, but they come back to their own country. Nobody stays there permanently. For a sun worshipping South Indian like myself, 2 weeks in a place where 90% of the earth's total ice volumes are stored is a chilling prospect. not just for circulatory and metabolic functions, but also for the imagination. It is like walking on a giant ping pong ball. Ping pong ball is nothing but the hollow ball which is used for playing table tennis. Devoid of any human markers, no trees, billboards, buildings, you lose all earthly sense of perspective and time here. The visual scale ranges from the microscopic to the mighty, midges and mites to blue whales and icebergs, as big as countries. So here what do you see? You can see that there are no trees or billboards with big huge boards which are hoardings which are kept, or huge buildings, nothing is seen over there. You lose all earthly sense of perspective and time here. You cannot see the sunrise and going up to the top of your head and then setting the other side, that you cannot see. Okay? And you can see that there is no earthly sense. For example, we are living in a populated area, in a hustle and bustle of a city. All those things cannot be seen there in Antarctica. So the visual scale ranges from the microscopic to the mighty. So what do you see there? All tiny microscopic things to the huge mass of ice. The mighty things are nothing but the huge mountains of ice which you see there. And if you just see the insects, the midges are nothing but two-winged flies. Two-winged fly, you call it as midges. Mite is a parasite which is there on animals. Might be you have seals over there and polar bears, and also these mites may be on them. They are 8-legged small tiny insects. To blue whales and icebergs as big as countries. Icebergs as big as countries. Huge mass of icebergs. Now you know icebergs, only 1/10 of the iceberg will be visible outside water, but whereas the entire mass will be inside. That was also a reason for the Titanic ship to sink. The largest recorded was the size of Belgium. The largest iceberg that was recorded there was that size of the Belgium country. Days go on and on and on in surreal 24-hour austral summer light. Now one more thing which you have to see here is, in the Arctic region as well as the Antarctic region, you have continuously daytime for 4 months, you have continuously nighttime for 4 months. So here the time when they had gone for all this expedition, it was daytime. So that author says days goes on and on and on. Why should he say on and on and on? He wants to bring the impact that it was only daylight throughout. For us, you have morning as well as night, and when it is night for us also, it will be day there, which means there will be light. That is what the author means here. Days go on and on and on in surreal 24-hour astral summer light. 24 hours throughout, it was summer time and there was light. And the ubiquitous silence, ubiquitous, that is no something which you cannot explain. Total silence you are able to see there, interrupted only by the occasional avalanche or carving ice sheet consecrates the place. So what other disturbance they had? They had the cracking sound of snow, the mass moving of ice which moved with huge sound. These are the only sound that was heard in Antarctic continent, and nothing other than that. It is an immersion that will force you to place yourself in the context of the Earth's geological history, and for humans the prognosis isn't good. So it's an immersion that will force you to place yourself. Now you have to study about the geological history of the earth. So you have a lot to study there. And for humans, the prognosis isn't good. Prognosis, the forecast. Now what is life there in Antarctica? There is no life other than you can see the smallest and the mightiest. But whereas what is that prognosis? What is the forecast? Which is prognosis nothing but the forecast. Or what is going to happen, what is likely going to happen to the human beings, what situation is going to be created, it isn't good. Why it isn't good? Because we are paving our own bad days because of the pollution, and this pollution is going to have adverse effect over the entire globe.